Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, Lieutenant General Caslin, General Franks. It's an honor to be here. I want to take a minute to recognize a few of our distinguished visitors with us today. Undersecretary of the Army, Honorable Patrick Murphy, and Commandant of the Marine Corps, General Robert Neller, are with us. Distinguished guests, families, and friends, welcome to the Warrior Games! Another round of applause for the amazing display we saw from the Golden Knights. Especially impressed with your improvisational abilities once the plane turned around and started going the other way. Trust me, I panicked for you. You did an excellent job. I can't tell you how honored I am to be here. A friend of mine called me up a while back and he said, would you mind coming up to an event we have? We're going to have it up at West Point called the Warrior Games. If you came up there, man, they'd really appreciate it. They'd really appreciate the support. I said, sure, yeah, I'll absolutely come up there, man, because I'm such a great guy. But I have to be honest with you, I didn't come up here to support these athletes. I came up here to get support from them. And that's always been the relationship that I have found whenever I've been in the company of, or had the honor to be in company of, any of our men and women of the armed services or wounded warriors, is that the support that I get from them so far outstrips anything that I can offer that it's humbling. As was mentioned earlier about Orlando, this has been a difficult week for what I like to call team civilization. The horrors that we've witnessed can make you feel as though you've lost faith in our ability to persevere through those times. And so when I say I'm in need of support, there is almost nothing in this world that gives me more support than witnessing the tenacity and the resilience and the perseverance of especially our wounded warriors in their endeavors. They're the ones that make me feel like, oh right, we're going to be okay. You know, on the news they're always saying, you know, how do you talk to your kids about the violence that occurs in this world, and how do you tell them that there are bad people in this world and they're going to do bad things? And I brought my son tonight, my son Nate, because I realized that it's time to stop telling them about the rare individuals that do harm, and tell them more about the people whose names we don't know and whose resilience and tenacity we can witness. And that's what I'm here to see today, and that's what I'm here to show him, is that the depth and strength of those whose names you may never know is the depth and strength of this country, and is the depth and strength that will allow us to overcome. Boy, the forces of ignorance and hate and fear have no idea what they are up against. Have no idea the strength. I know what it takes to be where they are today, not personally because I'm weak, and as you may have heard, somewhat of a coward. Although, in my defense, the traffic getting up here was terrible, so I think our journeys were equally as arduous. I've been to those rooms at Walter Reed and Bethesda, and I've seen what these individuals have to go through. They have faced the worst that humanity has to throw at them, and they have decided not to allow themselves to be defined by that act, but to be defined by their actions following that act, their actions of getting up off the floor. I have seen the blood, sweat, and tears that they have gone through to get here, and profanity, really mostly profanity. If you go to the physical therapy room at Walter Reed, it is a lot of combinations of words you really didn't know could be put together. And they do it with pride, and when they fall, their colleagues and their loved ones pick them up and don't let them fall and don't let them give up. And so I also applaud the families and the caregivers that are here today, because I know that your strength runs through their blood. And I am sorry that so few of you bear the total onus of our nation's wars. I wish our citizenry were more involved. I wish that there was a greater knowledge. Man, this should be on ESPN. This is where the cameras should be. This is where the country should be, to witness. I just can't tell you how proud I am to be asked to be a part of it and to be Master of Ceremonies here tonight. I will do the best I can, but I humbly say to you, you are the best of us, and I hope that those who come after you can live up to what you have led us with. And thank you so much. So let's move on. We're going to launch a sports competition. It's born out of the adaptive sports and athletic reconditioning programs that are so important to the successful recovery and reintegration of injured, ill, and wounded service members and veterans. We're inspired by their resiliency and warrior spirit. You can tell what they wrote for me. It's much more eloquent. The stuff that I said, I stumble around. We're encouraged by their great determination and entertained by their hard-fought athletic endeavors. Are you ready to meet them? If I may, it's a pretty big crowd. That felt a little weak. Are you ready to meet them? Of the 2016 Warrior Games. Ladies and gentlemen, Team Army. My mic? Oh. I like that. Welcome, everybody. I want to welcome all the athletes. Ladies and gentlemen, the athletes of your 2016 Warrior Games. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand as you are able for the presentation of the colors by the Military District of Washington Joint Armed Forces Color Guard and the West Point Band's field music group, the Hellcats. Please remain standing for the national anthems of the United Kingdom and the United States performed by the West Point Band.
Colors. Attention! Colors. Right shoulder. March. Colors. Ready. Cut. Colors. Present. March.
Please be seated. Once again, Jon Stewart.
Thanks so much. Please join me now in welcoming the Superintendent of the United States Military Academy and our host for the week, Lieutenant General Robert L. Caslen, Jr. Sir.
Thank you. For the announcement, Army. Never had one of those before. John, thank you very much. Boy, if this doesn't make your heart flow and your blood boil, well, I'll tell you, this is phenomenal. It is such a great honor to be here. So, distinguished guests and athletes and family members and ladies and gentlemen, good evening. And on behalf of the United States Army and the United States Military Academy and the entire West Point community, I welcome you to West Point in the 2016 Department of Defense Warrior Games. We are both honored and excited to host these games, and the warrior athletes representing all branches of the Armed Forces, our Special Operations Command, and the Armed Forces of the United Kingdom. We're honored to have a number of our distinguished guests. Some were introduced already this evening, and I'd like to recognize just a few more. Of course, we already introduced the Undersecretary of our Army, Patrick Murphy. Also, General Robert Neller, who is the 37th Commandant of the Marine Corps, sitting in the audience. We're honored also to have the Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense for Warrior Care, Mr. Jim Rodriguez. Also on the stage is retired General Fred Franks, former Commanding General of the Army's Training and Doctrine Command, former Commanding General of 7th Corps during Operation Desert Storm and Desert Shield, who also is a visiting scholar at West Point Center for the Professional Military Ethic, also a wounded warrior himself and an amputee from the Vietnam War. General Franks, great to have you with us. And we are truly honored to have Army Captain Florent Groberg, a Medal of Honor recipient and a wounded warrior himself. Captain Groberg, we're so gracious that you're able to join us today. How about a round of applause? About a block away from Capitol in Washington, D.C. is a relatively new memorial. It's dedicated to our nation's wounded warriors. This memorial includes several quotes from our wounded warriors, and one in particular I think is pretty powerful. It says, "It's not what you lost that counts, it's what you do with what's left." So that's what these games are all about. We're here to celebrate ability, to celebrate resilience, and to celebrate the drive to overcome adversity. These games showcase the resilient spirit of these warrior athletes and symbolize to all the wounded and ill and injured service members and veterans that individuals can recover from serious injury or illness, and they can lead fulfilling, productive, and inspiring lives. As these warrior athletes take to the fields of friendly strife, they will show the world their indomitable spirit, their sportsmanship, their desire to excel, their tenacity, and most important, their strength of character. These incredible men and women willingly answered their nation's call to service. They exemplify the very best of America. They embody the resilience, the discipline, the mental and physical toughness to overcome adversity and to achieve their goals. Athletes, you are a testament of strength, professionalism, and dedication, not only for the other survivors around the world, but also for all of us. You are our role models, you are our inspiration, you are our heroes. To the family members and to the caregivers here this evening, thank you. You are an important part of these games as well, as your support of these athletes has been so essential throughout their recovery and rehabilitation. You've been a vital source of encouragement and motivation to them, and that encouragement and motivation will be just as important as they compete in the games over the next few days. Former UFC middleweight champion Anderson Silva once said that, quote, "A champion is defined by the adversity he overcomes," end quote. So to our athletes assembled here, you all are our champions. Congratulations and best of luck to all of you, and here's to a very successful Warrior Games. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lieutenant General. Ladies and gentlemen, this year at the end of the games, a special award is going to be given to one member of each team that represents the heart and the soul of each team. The one member who best exemplifies the camaraderie of sport. Representative medals were jumped in earlier, and Sergeant Blake Gaynor, team leader from the Golden Knights Black Demonstration Team, is entering with them now. He'll deliver them to Sergeant First Class retired Howard Sanborn, former team leader for the Golden Knights Black Team. He will in turn present the medals to Vietnam veteran and wounded warrior, General retired Fred Franks.
General Franks, on behalf of myself and all of my fellow wounded warriors, we would like to thank you for your service and the service of all Vietnam veterans. Your fight to remain on active duty after being wounded helped make it possible for current wounded warriors to continue to serve. It also helped develop adaptive sports programs to help aid in their rehabilitation. We deeply appreciate your efforts, and it is my honor to present to you the Heart of the Team medals, which were jumped in by the Golden Knights. These medals represent the spirit of the Warrior Games. To officially open the games.
Well, thank you very much for this. I am deeply moved, and it's a great privilege to accept this on behalf of all wounded warriors from all times, and especially those of you here competing in these Warrior Games. And I'm very moved, and thank you very much. Thank you.
In honor of this year's games, the West Point Band has composed a special theme song that recognizes the valor and resilience of the incredible athletes that are before us. As the torch enters the stadium to your right, we present the Warrior Games theme. like to recognize individually each member who had the torch. So if I can, I apologize. I'd like to back up. I didn't want to interrupt the moment when the music was playing. But first receiving the torch for the athletes was Major Brian Segee from the United Kingdom. Joining that relay and receiving the torch for Team SOCOM, Navy Lieutenant Ramesh Kedasing and his son Brian. Joining that relay and receiving the torch for Team Air Force, Captain Retired Chris Cochran. Very excited about that one. Joining the relay and receiving the torch for Team Navy, Chief Ron Condren. And joining the relay and receiving the torch for Team Marines is Andrew Cordova. Joining the relay and receiving the torch for Team Army, Veteran Terry Cartwright. Now the relay team will present the torch to Captain Kelly Emlinger, Army Team Captain from the Warrior Transition Battalion, Fort Sam Houston. She will light the Warrior Team's cauldron, signaling the official start of these games.
Kelly, are you ready?
Absolutely, yes, sir.